Hello, welcome back. So today I do want to talk about overwintering my Brugmansias. Actually, we're having a bit of a heat wave here in the UK at the moment, and it's absolutely boiling. So today's date is the 10th of September, so it is a little bit early, but I'm going to talk you through all the things that I do with my Brugmansias, steaming up. All the things that I'm going to do with my Brugmansias to keep them safe over winter. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So like I said before, it's getting on to sort of mid-September now, so things are looking a little bit tired. The beds and borders are looking a little bit yellow, which is to be expected. However, Brugmansias, so a lot of my Brugmansias are not planted into the ground. They are solely in pots. They're in very big pots, but to be fair, I don't think you can even tell with how densely packed the borders are, and that's obviously designed that way so you don't really see them. So overwintering, all I do with these guys is I will transfer the pot from obviously outside to inside, which is a bit of work involved in that, because the bigger the plant, the bigger the pot. But that's the first job, so let's get them inside. I put them into my conservatory, but they can go into sort of a well-lit garage as long as it's frost-free or something like that. So that would be my first job. My second job would be pruning, so I'd probably do this inside. Once I put it where I wanted to put it, I'd probably just drag it in, just because if you have any damage while you're going from sort of A to B, you're going to sort of eliminate it when you do get to the pruning process. So you might find that if you're a little bit clumsy like I am, you might lose a little bit of the plant on its journey, so then you can do your pruning sort of after that. So these are the old cuts, as you can see just here. They're the old cuts from last year. So what I'd probably do this year is, I like to keep them quite big, is I'd probably just keep this new growth just here, and I'd cut off to about there. And it is really beneficial to the plant if you take every single leaf off. So you strip it all the way down and just leave it with just the stems. Take every little leaf off, so even these little guys I would just take off like that, okay, and then cut them down to that. It's really your preference as to how big you want them to be over winter. Really, it's as long as you can give them a little bit of water along the way just to keep those stems hydrated. Entirely up to you how big you or how little you want to do it. You can cut them all the way down to the base. I don't like doing that purely because I don't want to lose all that lovely growth. I want it to start as big as I can, ready for the next following year. This is one of my yellow Brugmansias, so what I will do is I will take a few cuttings, okay, sort of late on. It's absolutely fine this time of year. So what I will do there is cut it right off at the base. You can just see that. Cut that right off at the base there. Take a few leaves off, just leave the little crown on top. Cut it off to like a outward facing leaf node, which is like underneath there or underneath there. That's where all the growth hormone is. Pop it in some soil and keep it not wet, just moist. That way you can multiply your collection. One of the big questions is when. So when do we do this? I leave it till as like the last possible minute. So I'm checking the weather for frost and things like that. It is risky, but that's just the way I do things. I like living on the edge when it comes to gardening. So all because obviously at the moment we're having such beautiful weather here in the UK that the Brugmansias really catch a sort of second wind, and they're doing so well all but about one. So just keep an eye on that weather. I wouldn't be looking to bring them in until sort of October, but it really does depend on your climate and all that sort of good stuff. So it's your call really. If you want to get them in earlier, you can. All that will happen is they'll just restart to grow and things like that. So it's really important to know over winter, you don't need to feed them, but you do need to give them water. So obviously if you're cutting it right down to the base, you won't need a lot of water. If you do what I do and just strip the leaves off with a little bit of a trim on top, then you will need to keep them hydrated and you won't need to give them any food. And that's it really. So obviously I've got a few in the ground which I'll just simply dig up. What I will do with those ones, I don't know if I can show you one. Let me go show you one. So with these guys, all I'll do is I'll dig them up, get as much root as I possibly can, strip all the leaves off, and I'll cut them down by half. So what that does is, by cutting them down by half, means that when you dig them up, you're gonna lose some root. Okay, you know, it's gonna happen no matter how careful you are. So you're just compensating the stems for the root that you lose. So guys, just remember there's no right or wrong way. As long as they're in a frost-free environment over the winter, they'll be absolutely fine. If you do sort of forget to water them over winter, or for whatever reason, like last year I actually had a knee injury and I didn't do any of my watering, so it did mean that some of my Brugmansias and other things had to have a good prune in the summer, because obviously I had to compensate for the amount of water I didn't give them over winter due to not being able to walk. Having said that, they bounce back really well. So as long as we're in a frost-free environment and the frost doesn't hit them, because as soon as the frost hit them, a good frost should I say, then that'll be that for the plant. So couple of things to recap. So frost-free environment, get your cuttings in now, so get them in. They can go into a multi-purpose compost. You don't need hormone rooting powder, or you can chuck them straight into a bottle of water, okay, and they will root off that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything you want to know when it comes to sort of springtime care or anything at all, then please just drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to sort of get back to you guys. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it was informative. Please let me know if you've got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care guys, bye.